Hello guys, I hope everyone is enjoying Halo Wars 2 so far. I know I sure am. So today I'm going to be commentating my thoughts, strategies, and the thinking behind my gameplay in a 1-hour match. Now this is probably one of the top 10 most intense matches I've ever had in Halo Wars 1 as well as Halo Wars 2. Now, I won't be showing all of the match, but rather the key points, and explain some of the things that were going on in my head at the time. Now, my enemies were a rank 3 Sergeant Forge and a rank 8 Isabel. Now, in the beginning of the match, I wasn't quite sure what I was going to build. I knew I just wanted to grab a second base within the first couple of minutes, and that was pretty obvious to me at first, but I found myself making a lot of infantry, and I was like, well, I'm not quite sure if I really want to go with infantry, but I am going to want to rush with all these units here, and maybe I can throw the enemy off and maybe make them super defensive so I won't have to worry about them being offensive later, which I think actually did sort of work in some ways, because in this match, spoiler, they weren't that offensive, although that's because I got the pressure on. Now, when I saw that they came out with a couple Kodiaks, I wanted to go ahead and just take these guys out with my units as fast as possible because they do cost like 500 a piece, and I had my Kodiaks set up, but I wasn't quite sure if this is something what I wanted to do, and then I saw a lot of Marines coming out, and I saw that they were also upgrading these Marines, so it kind of made me think maybe I should go with anti-infantry later on in the match, but I decided to just retreat from this and consider that they might be offensive. So this is about 11 minutes in the game. I had my Scorpions here. I had a good variety of units, I think, but I really wanted to dominate the middle of the map, and I felt pretty good at this stage of the game. I had a couple Scorpions, I had a couple Wolverines here, but I saw this army coming up around the corner, so what I was thinking was like, okay, I'm going to hit this army straight on, and I went ahead and got the scatter bomb too, which definitely I thought that was a good attack, although unfortunately I didn't see it, but it did do a lot of damage there. And I was kind of skeptical about going down in that hill because that army over there on the right could come in and start crushing me, so I believe I started to want to retreat at this point. I was getting a little bit overwhelmed, especially with Isabel's ability to take over the units. Now, at this point in the game, we were really fighting over the middle, and I wasn't sure what I was doing, honestly. I wasn't very sure what I was doing, and they had those Kodiaks up there on the hill near the base, and I wasn't prepped to fight. He had Grizzlies out there, and I realized that this was going to be a very Grizzly-dominant game. I was very, very happy that finally I could have some backup and we could actually do some damage at this point. So at this point in the game, we both have a lot of units, both me and Blue, and we start fighting over the middle. And this is like a clash, like whoever loses this is gonna lose the match, right? That's what I was thinking. My gosh, this is a lot of units. I'm gonna throw a scatter bomb down there that did a lot of damage, and I thought, okay, I'm gonna win this, right? Well, it started becoming very apparent very quickly that I lost. I lost the battle, and I was kind of surprised, but thankfully my friend has a lot of Kodiaks, and I was confused, but I was like, okay, just gotta refill my units, get some more Scorpions out, get some more units out. You gotta keep up the war.
I am under fire from their enemy condor.
So as time went on, I grew a lot of Scorpions, and I decided to attack the cyan color guy right in the middle because he didn't have the support of his friend, and I had more units than him, and this just seemed like a prime opportunity to wipe up a growing army, and so I did that successfully here. So at this point in the match, my friend has a couple Kodiaks, no one's base has been destroyed, but Red is knocking on Blue's front door. He's attacking, although I move in to help Red, although I am attacked by Blue with a huge Condor airship, and I cannot take that. I had no idea he had that before this moment, so I'm thinking, okay, I need Wolverines as fast as possible. I don't want to quite give up these Scorpions because they're so weak, although I think I made a mistake putting a lot of my effort and units in there. I just really wanted to help Red and get through that. So I move in, I drop a scatter bomb on his condor and 3 scorpions, which are taking a hell of a beating now, and Blue's front door looks wide open, so I take the opportunity, I destroy a couple Kodiaks on the left, and I move my military in. And although I do not see at the time, there is an army about to pancake me, or sandwich me, I guess is a better term. And I realize that I've made a huge mistake, essentially, and they drop a scatter bomb on a good portion of my military, and I realize that I made a huge mistake, and just like that, it looks like the whole tide of the war has changed. So we're about 30 minutes through the game, and neither of us have destroyed any of each other's bases or have done any real lasting damage. So I see the Condor over there, I'm like, okay, whatever, we're gonna find the middle again, gonna lose some more units, it's fine. But I want to make a move, I want to push forward, I want to destroy something. And so I go down to the center base, small base here, and I destroy that real quick. And I'm very, very happy I did that because it does have some big implications later. Although Blue moves his entire army force in. So Dark Blue's entire military walks up into Red's front door, and I have to make a very important decision. Do I help Red, my friend, or do I attack Blue's base, which is defenseless, I believe? Well, I decide, okay, you know what, I'm gonna take on Blue because it looks like Red might be alright here. So Blue screwed up a little bit here. I'm separating all my units, spreading them out so a big unit ability can't wipe them all out, and I'm just throwing all I have. Adrenaline's pumping. I'm like, holy crap, finally destroying someone's base. Some action here, something is about to blow up, right? But most importantly, as soon as I destroyed base here, his supply pads, his generators on that base were destroyed as well. And so what does that mean? I slowly began to win the game as far as the economy goes at this point. And it looks like Red has a Condor way up there next to Light Blue, and it looks like we're gonna take his base as well. So Red's Condor goes down, he doesn't destroy Light Blue's base, which is fine because I'm going to destroy this one. I'm sure of it. I'm using up all my resources and all my units right here in this battle, and I'm taking down these siege turrets. Now, one big thing I haven't done so far is actually take the bases I've destroyed because I am keeping the pressure on. No time to build bases, no time for that. I am focused directly on keeping the pressure on and keeping the battle not in their favor, basically. So I'm about to destroy this guy's base, and it looks all good, but there is a Condor right there, so I realize I can't press forward after this, especially with just a couple Grizzlies and a couple Wolverines. So I'm thinking, okay, I need to take the bases, I need to take all the empty spots. This is the time to really collect the loot that I've won so far and really make the battle completely uneven, because I know for a fact that, of course, they still have a lot of credits and a lot of energy, but it hasn't taken effect yet, and they can still feed this war. So I need to still play smart, I still need to retreat, and I can't just throw everything I have at them because I will lose and the battle will turn. So I'm moving my forces in. This is basically the foundation of what happens for the last 20 minutes of the game. I drop a scatter bomb, it does a lot of damage, but there's actually another Condor, and Dark Blue just reclaimed his base. So I'm a little bit upset about that, although I know I can't move in on another Condor right now. These things are very, very dangerous. They're basically the UNSC equivalent of a Scarab. So I'm just, I'm playing smart right now. I'm working on resources. I'm basically just keeping them busy, and Red is also moving in too, so I got that going for me. As far as this game goes, I'm the only guy that hasn't made an ultimate unit yet, so I've decided, you know, I'm just going to be that guy that doesn't do that. I'm going to make a lot of Wolverines, get my entire recruitment level up, and just attack them with tons and tons of Wolverines, because it looks like they're going in that direction anyway. And if it hasn't been obvious so far, I've been balancing my army between Wolverines, Grizzlies, and Cyclops, and I haven't even touched air yet in this match. So there's this battle right here. I destroy his Condor. I drop a perfectly executed scatter bomb here, and it does a lot of damage to his vultures and Wolverines. and I'm doing pretty well, I think, so far.
Grizzly.
Now, I gotta give credit to these guys. They have really kept up a good battle because I have created so many units. I, in fact, created the most units in this game. I've created my army a dozen times over, probably a couple dozen times at this point. But I keep trying to destroy these condors, but while I have these armies of wolverines, they're very defenseless. And I threw in a brand new army to Blue's base to try to destroy that condor and that second base, but I have no success doing so. I'm kind of panicking, to be honest. I have a whole army of wolverines and a couple grizzlies, but then I walk into an army with pretty much the same thing, with a condor, and I'm kind of outmatched. Now, red helps out for a moment. He has Isabel's ability, but it doesn't do a whole lot. My scatter bomb does a lot of damage on these guys, but I'm still panicking because dark blue could come in and really destroy this base and then begin to push, and that would be very interesting. So I start panicking, I start making cyclops. I realize that I have to make a change, that a fundamental needs to change in this match because I am now losing. So light blue isn't really able to keep up the war, so I'm fairly confident at this point. I start destroying his units, and I start producing even more grizzlies, and just a mix of grizzlies, cyclops, and wolverines, really. I destroy light blue's mini base here, and keeping the pressure on, I'm marching right towards the dark blue base, which I've lost many times so far, but I'm confident about this particular time because I have a Kodiak, which I haven't made many in this game. So I'm having some success hurting the guy's base, but I have a bunch of grizzlies that are about to fall apart, and a brand new army from light blue marches in towards me, and I drop a scatter bomb, but I actually, around this point in the game, I begin to realize on how low I am with supplies, and that I can't keep making all these units. I am just throwing so many units at them, but they're destroying them all, and I start to worry a little bit. So I took away all the garages on my bases far away from home, and on the base I took from this guy, I've actually made just a exclusive building unit producing thing just to feed this war, and so I keep throwing stuff at them. They built a lot of wolverines, I'm not sure why, but I'm going to capitalize on that, so I go back to anti-vehicle. So at this point in the war, they have 3 bases left, and I think I have crushed their morales. Me and my friend have been pressuring them for literally like 20 or 22 minutes. They haven't been able to attack, they've only been able to defend. I've locked them down, and I hardly have any resources, 1,500 and down to a 30 unit count. How the hell am I going to keep the pressure on? They're going to recoil and fight back, right? Well, it's got to be true for me, because if I'm out of resources, I'm making a lot more money. We're making a lot more money on my team than they are, right? So what they have left over isn't much, and they're not making a lot of units, so maybe I'm about to win. So to the bitter end, we finally pushed forward. We have been locked in this situation for about 20 or 25 minutes. It's incredible that they were able to hold us off for so long. They must have had a really great economy, but I'm destroying their 3rd base again, and they have a lot of wolverines up here on the corner, and red is fighting them off. He's walked into a death trap, but I think he'll be fine, and it looks like we've pretty much won this game. So blue, I think both of the blues have accepted defeat at this point, because red has even destroyed the wolverine defense up there, and that was pretty much their last defense. So I think at this point they accepted defeat and are just thinking about quitting, which they do. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and that's a wrap. So this is a really fun match. I think it lasted about 57 minutes long, so very fun. So shout out to the players that were involved in this. And also guys, let me know down in the comment section below, do you want to see more videos like this where I talk about my playthroughs, my experience in multiplayer matches, and talk about my strategies and whatnot? So let me know down in the comment section below, and like this video up if you want more videos like this, and subscribe if you haven't already. Alright guys, later, peace.